All right. I saw a comment on my short of my mason jar build, wanting a tutorial to build it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I will start with the usual pea pebble and rock bottom, just to help a little bit of the drainage layer. Some of these larger ones out. Doesn't have to be a very large layer, just enough to cover the bottom. It's about an inch. Now that I have a good little base layer right there, I'm going to take off the lid so it is a little bit easier to finish the whole build. And to do that, I'm just going to take the glass and slide it over, or slide this piece of metal that holds it on over it, just like that. And then I'll take this metal piece off right here by squeezing that, just like that. Okay, now that you have your lid off, you want to get your soil there. There's my soil. Get your measuring cup or whatever you're using to scoop your dirt, whether it be your hand or whatever. And get about a 2-inch, maybe an 1.5 inches, depending on some of the plants you're using. That's a little bit too much. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go back with one of my cheaper, it's just a makeup brush I got from Walmart. But I got some of my cheaper ones that I use, and I super glue them so they're a little bit sturdier at the tip. Like this. Doesn't move quite as much when you press down. It just helps you pack down the dirt a little bit easier. And once you get it all packed down, you will move to your hardscaping. Okay. Once you get that done, you can start looking at your hardscaping materials like your rocks and your wood, so on. And to start with that, I'm going to look right down here at some of these medium-ish rocks that I have, just to try to find some pieces that I like that go together decently. Maybe even just 1 or 2 pieces. You might have to move it around. You are working in a jar though, so it is going to be a little bit tighter of a fit than one of my mini ecosystem builds. But once you get that, you can get a general basis of what you want it. And I want this one to be more of a rock mountainous looking scape. So I'm gonna just play around with that for a minute. And once you get it, you like it. Once you get it however you like it, you can make it fit together. Okay, and since I have two really main rock scapes, you don't necessarily have to have a piece of scaped wood. I'm just gonna look at what I have just in case I see something that sticks out at me. No. All right, now that I have my hardscape done, I'm going to actually take those out and brush them off with some of my better makeup brushes that I, once again, still from Walmart, just to try to get as much of that dust and dirt and stuff off to make a better stick. And play with it until you find the desired look. Once you get that, take your handy dandy super glue or Gorilla Glue, is what I always use. It tends to be the best. And with this one, I just have the Gorilla Glue brush. And while still holding it together how I like the scape, I'm going to dab a few little bits of super glue right there. Get this. I use clear most of the time because it comes off a little bit cleaner, but I'm going to use a little drop of that Gorilla Glue gel right there for the actual sticking, just like so, and let her sit and dry. Depending on the glue type you get, the glue brand you get, depending on how fast it sets. This one is supposed to be 10-second set, but I honestly doubt it's going to take 10 seconds. It tends to take a little bit longer, but you can actually get a quicker set brand and put you a few little drops just to help secure it. It's not really giving much extra stability over that Gorilla Glue. It just sets a little bit quicker, so you can actually start move on and go on to your next stage of designing it. Okay, while that's setting, I'm going to go ahead and open these shears just to trim down some of the plants I have. Some of the pieces are actually dead. Get right in there, cut it off by the leaf. Okay, that one's all good. Let me just that one right there's dead. These are all cichlids, types of succulent plants. They just have a lot of good color to me, good pops. That's dead. Okay. Now that I have those two cleaned and that one cleaned, let's go over here to my smaller one. Trim off all the dead pieces. If you trim all your plants before you put them in there, it'll be a little bit before you have to trim them again, and it just makes the whole thing just a hair bit easier. Okay, now that I have all those trimmed, I'm going to go back and check the super glue real quick. Let me check this one real quick. It appears to have one of my plants fell. Okay, set the plant to the side, scoop back up. All right, now I'm going to check and see if there's, yep, it is generally set. Now it's not going to be completely cured or completely set for another 10 minutes, but I'm actually going to use this time to set a few more pieces of glue. And maybe even a few tiny pieces of rock, just for extra stability. More of a seamless look. Just makes it look just a little bit better. And this, all ecosystems, you're gonna put your own twist on it. You're gonna put your own tie on it. You just see, that's why I was gonna set more. It popped out. Me and these plants are gonna have a problem. Okay. You can actually also use Pond and Stone Great Stuff insulation foam, and it works just as well, if not slightly better actually. Take this little piece, just another piece close to similar in color, if not exact on, and I'm going to just place it right underneath it, and I'll show y'all where and how I place that in just a second. Okay, I don't know how well y'all can see that, but that little right there, I just placed there for a little bit extra stability. And regular Gorilla Glue or super glue, it is actually reptile and plant and insect and small life and stuff like that safe. So you're not going to be causing damage to your animal if you do this, or your plants. Now, I wouldn't go Gorilla Glue crazy and just glue everything to everything, but you definitely can use it to help secure places or things in their place. Excuse me. I'm just taking one of these fine tip brushes, running it down the crack, connecting my main rock and this rock. Once again, it'll just give it a little bit more detail and stability. Okay, and look for one more little piece similar to the one that you just used. Rub all that sand and grit off, and then I will take this fan brush and actually get as many little grains of that sand and dust out of there. Okay, once you get that done, find a good placement for it. Okay, I'm actually going to need some of my scissors for this, or tweezers, excuse me. That piece doesn't actually fit right there, so I have to find a little bit smaller piece and do the same exact thing. Put it off, get the majority of all the sand and dirt off, and then go from there. And if you are using super glue, it is smart to use gloves. I am not. And every time I do not, I end up paying the price. Because you will get super glue on you, no matter what you do. At least I do. Okay, now that I have little cracks and stuff glued, let me spread it all out, make it look fairly even. Okay, now I'm going to let that dry. And we wait. If you do not use gloves, your hand's looking like this. Give that just a little while to clear out.